Screen is shared.
And we are live to YouTube. Ooh, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It has been a week, and I need Shabbat this week more than most. I am so glad to be here with you tonight. You have no idea. So I am delighted to welcome Shabbat. Adam is running the slideshow tonight, so be kind to him. And we are going to begin this evening with Hine Matov. Here we go. Ooh, that wasn't right. Hine Matov u'manaim, shevet kulanu beyachad. Hine Matov u'manaim, shevet kulanu beyachad. Hine Matov, Hine Matov. Ya la 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 la. Hine Matov, Hine Matov. Ya la 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 la. Hine Matov u'manaim, shevet kulanu beyachad. Hine Matov u'manaim, shevet kulanu beyachad. Is there somebody who would like to light the Shabbat candles tonight? We have them on screen with one more click. Whoops. Oh, if you can go back one, Adam, just back arrow one. There we go. Somebody like to say the blessing tonight? All right, Dennis. Oh, you need to unmute. Oh, we can't hear you. You need to unmute. Oh, there we go. I got you. I unmuted you.
Okay. So, as the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzvanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed art thou. Shouldn't forget actually to do it. Blessed art thou, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Shabbat light.
Amen. Thank you, Dennis. Would somebody like to read this prayer? Marta? Oh, we need to unmute.
Sorry.
I gotcha.
Okay. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English, no Hebrew, no semantics, no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world that God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Thank you, Marga. We're going to continue with Lechato D with musical accompaniment, if I can find it. Here we go. Oh, no, sorry, wrong one. That's later. Lechato D likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechato D likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor zachor v'dibur echad, ishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem tiferet v'litfilah, lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikadem nesucha, sod ma'aseh machshavat tefillah. Lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ha'oreh kumi ori, uri, shir taveri, kol Adonai alayich nikla. Lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'im shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tohola, toch emunei am segula. Bo'י chala, lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechato likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Help me perfect my ways of loving and caring. Inspire me to make myself whole, so that I may honor your name and create a world of justice and peace. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbav, ve'amad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uv'izman kariv, v'meru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam le'amei amaya, yitbarach. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בימה, ואמרו Amen. We continue with our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishana etim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Is somebody who would like to lead this reading? Sandra? There we go.
Thank you. I can't see the mute on my screen. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisroel.
Amen. Thank you. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ela אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Kim, would you like to do this reading?
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Thank you. Yad bye bye bim bidi bami, yad bye bye bim bam. Yad bye bye bim bidi bami, yad bye bye bim bam. Hi 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 hi, yad bye bye bim bam. Hi 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 hi, yad bye bye bim bam. Mihi kamocha baili madonai, mihi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. No tehilot osefele, no tehilot osefele. Ma'alechutecha ra'u vanecha, lokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai mochelam ba'ed. Yad bye bye bim bidi bami, yad bye bye bim bam. Yad bye bye bim bidi bami, yad bye bye bim bam. Hi 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 hi, yad bye bye bim bam. Hi 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 hi, yad bye bye bim bam. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Somebody like to read this reading?
I can do it, Lisa.
Please.
Okay.
Am I on?
You are.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Thank you. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורות המרידות. וביום השביעי, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המרידות. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind and joy in the trees. The Sabbath arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. This is actually the last Shabbat until Simchat Torah, that we are going to be singing Mashiv Haruach Umarit Hagashem, because beginning next Shabbat, we say Morid Hatal, as the rainy season in Israel is ending. I'll talk about that more next week. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elayon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geulah livnei bneihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'Morid hagashem, Mechakel Chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, Umito melach, Melech memit umechayeh umatmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesh HaShabbat. Is there somebody that would like to lead this reading? Steve?
Okay. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavorech et amo Yisrael, Bashalom.
Thank you. Moments of silent reflection, well, accompanied by Mike's piano playing. I think accompanied. Can you turn up the volume, Adam? Not hearing anything.
Can't hear?
We've got no sound. This is a glitch we will have to work out. Let's go on to the next.
Can you hear it now?
No, but let's go on
No.
to the,
Pardon?
let's go on to the next slide. We'll figure this out. Can you advance the slide?
Oh,
Yehiyu Ratonim Refim Refi Ve'yon Livi Lefanecha Yehiyu Ratonim Refim Refi Ve'yon Livi Lefanecha Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Vegawali. Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Vegawali. Yehiyu Liratonim Rekim Refi, Ve'yon Livi Lefanecha. Yehiyu Liratonim Rekim Refi, Ve'yon Livi Lefanecha. Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Vegawali. Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Adonai Turi, Vegawali. We think of those in our community and adjacent to our community, connected to our community, who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. We think tonight of Sharon Barr, Marcy Berman, Isaac Cohen, Sarah Cohen, Susan Cooley, Guadalupe Cardero, Kay Cosby, Carolyn Dowland, Stuart Dowland, Rabbi Ellen Dreyfus, Wendy Drezick, Don Elmore, Steve Feynman, Bernice Fischel, Justin Folk, Michelle Harvard, Matt Kiefer, Janice Keating, Jenna Lesser, Ann Manning, Olivia Martinez, Dan McShane, Mike McNerney, Gladine Mollett, Tom Moore, Charles Patrick, Ruth Ann Paul, Jeanette Pierce, Ginny Rice, Arnold Savanor, Ron Stevens, Mike Stern, April Singer, Susan Weber, Marcia Gordon Wesser, Yochanan Ben Chetzba, and Joe Zutzius. Are there others for whom we are praying for healing this evening?
Ann Stacy,
Ken,
Jenny
Jennifer
Kelly.
Miller,
Ken Samet.
For all,
Andy Cohen.
all who were hurt in the recent shootings and all who are traumatized by the violence and shootings.
Thank you.
Jacob Blake, Helga Gleiser, David Fishelman.
Thank you. Misha Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu yivarech et hacholim shelanu Hakadosh Baruch Hu yimaleh rachamim alehem lahachalimam ulrapotam ulhachazikam v'yishlach lahem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim refuat hanefesh urefuat haguf hashta be'agala v'zman kariv v'nomar amen. And we join together in our prayer for healing. Misha Berach. Who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. The souls in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. All right, so Adam, we're going to stop the share now temporarily. Thank you. So, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This is Shabbat Hagadol, the Great Shabbat, so named because it is the Shabbat before Pesach. So, typically, the Shabbat before Pesach comes not just one day before Pesach, but a few days before Pesach, and used to be, or still is in many communities, the Shabbat when the rabbi gives the big sermon, not, second only to Yom Kippur, when the rabbi goes into great detail about all of the rituals and the laws and everything having to do with the observance of Pesach. Well, quite frankly, if you're not ready by now, a big sermon about all the rules and all the observances for Pesach is not going to help you tonight. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to talk a little bit about something related to Pesach. So last Shabbat, the Kesher kids and I spoke about a few key concepts of the Seder and the Haggadah. And I want to share with you part of our conversation. It was really interesting. We started with the quote from the Haggadah, Bechol dor vador chayav adam lerot et atzmo ke'ilu hu yatsa miMitzrayim. In every generation, each of us is obligated to see ourselves as though we personally went free from Egypt. I asked the kids, how can we possibly do that? They rightly answered, by tasting the salt water, the matzah, the bitter herbs. We continued to discuss the telling of the story, the singing the songs, asking the questions, using all of our senses, and so on. We then went on to discuss the passage of the 4 children. Now, and of course I'm talking to the adults present now, the passage of the 4 children in the Haggadah is one that seems straightforward, but it actually isn't. First of all, we have this problem of the notion of the wicked children and the comparison to the wise, between the wise and the wicked. The purpose of the 4 children is to amplify the motif of asking questions. But their inquiries focus not on tangible symbols, as did the 4 questions, but on deeper issues of content, meaning, and their own relationship to Jewish tradition. There are 5 instances in the Torah where the transmission of the Exodus story to future generations is mentioned. 2 of those 5 are directly connected to Passover, while the others aren't. 4 out of the 5 make it into the 4 children narrative. Each child is introduced with a question that comes directly from the Torah, except of course for the child who doesn't even know how to ask. The wise child asks, what are the testimonies, the statutes, and the laws which Adonai your God has commanded you? From Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 20. The wicked child's question, whatever does this service mean to you, comes from Exodus 12:26. And the simple child's question, what is this, can be found in Exodus chapter 13, verse 14. Interestingly, the answers that are given to these questions in the Torah are not the answers that we read in the Haggadah. Those answers get reinterpreted in light of the holiday observance. And over time, the children were listed in different orders, and different answers were attributed to different children. So an interesting point, which helps make sense of the Haggadah's presentation, is that the 2 important traits the sages were concerned with were piety and wisdom. So if you create a 2x2 matrix, yes wisdom, no wisdom, yes piety, no piety, the 4 children that we have in our Haggadah fit nicely into this matrix. In Israeli Haggadot, instead of the 4 children, we find the verse from Proverbs 22:6. Teach the youth each in their own way, even in old age they will not depart from it. Interesting. So, along that lines, what if, instead of using the questions each child asks to try to characterize the child, we instead use them to try to determine each child's learning style? The child who asks about the testimonies, statutes, and laws is characterized as wise, but perhaps it is simply that her learning style is driven by information, facts, history, and data. Very common among doctors, scientists, and accountants. The so-called wicked child who asks, what does this mean to you, is actually asking a deeply empathic question. He may be trying to understand what the Seder observance means to his parents and other adults around the table, so that then he can begin to understand what it means for himself. This child is displaying an empathic learning style. The so-called simple child asks probably the most complicated question of all, the meta question of what is this? That's no simple question. This child has a more philosophical learning style, trying to understand the bigger questions and the deeper, more philosophical meanings behind things. And as for the child who we claim doesn't even know how to ask, perhaps she is simply a learner who is more observant. She learns by watching and listening and then processes it all internally. Which brings us back to our conversation last Shabbat. I believe the core lesson of the 4 children is that if each of us is obligated to see ourselves as if we personally went free from Egypt, then we are equally obligated to help each other fulfill that mitzvah. That means that for our information or data-driven learner, we need to provide lots of resources. For the person who sees him or herself as other, We need to find a way to draw them in and help them feel included. We can share our connections and what the observance means for us, thereby providing an entry point for our empathic learner. For our philosophical learner, we can offer the opportunity to engage in discussion and questioning and learning and wrestling with ideas. And for our quiet observer, we can offer a judgment-free space for them to simply come and be. We can also recognize that there exists within each of us every single one of these children at different times of our lives. Recognizing and accepting that can help us be more empathetic to others. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. And now we turn to David for some announcements.
There we go. Okay, we're here. Okay, thanks for everybody coming. Nice to see you again, as always. Special thanks to Lisa, Mike, and Adam for putting together the various components of the service. Coming up, is tomorrow, religious school will be abbreviated to give everybody a chance to get home, make their preparations, etc. For those of you who have heard a rumor about the possibility that we are having a Seder Sunday evening at 5:30, I can confirm the rumors. If you haven't signed up, go to the last email that Lisa sent out. You point, you click, and you're in. And that keeps Zoom bombers from sending us underwear announcements or something like that during the service. Okay, on a more serious note, if you did not happen to catch Lisa's email earlier today, we have a new entry in the congregation yahrzeit list. Apparently Elliot Wesser, MD, died this morning, age 89. A founding member of the congregation, a longstanding member and respected member of the Jewish community. We wish his family as well as people can get during a time like this. If Lisa knows anything about assisting with sitting Shiva or any of those details, I'll defer to her for any comments. But let's keep the Wesser family in our thoughts as we move into this evening and Passover. All right, back to you, Lisa.
Thank you. I don't have any further information just yet. The graveside burial will be private, and there'll be a celebration of his life at a later date, and we'll, as soon as we have more information, we'll send it out.
Lisa, can I say a few words about Elliot?
Please.
Elliot was one of the first people that I met when we moved to San Antonio. That was in 1976. And Elliot was a giant at the medical school. He was a founder, not only of Temple High, but he was a founder of the Health Science Center. He was the head of gastroenterology for many years and later chief of medicine at the VA hospital. And he was, as I say, he was a giant. And for the people who may only have known him in his later years, I think there's some who probably didn't know him during this time. He became gradually, tragically unrecognizable as the man that I knew and admired for many, many years. He taught me so, he was not only a friend, but a mentor. I don't know how I would have survived in that environment without Elliot's support and advice. He taught me many, many things, not only about medicine, but he taught me how to be a mensch. He, although I don't think I ever achieved the level of menschlichkeit that he achieved, but I just wanted to say that I feel this loss very deeply. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Yes, I think we all feel it deeply, and will for some time. I'm not sure there's anything more to add at this point. We're going to continue with the concluding portion of our service, beginning with Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Teit Gedula L'Yotzer Breshit, Shehu Noteh Shamayim V'Yosei Haaretz, U'Moshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Mima'al, U'Shchinatu Zo B'Govhei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Va'anachnu Kore'im, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. Ushemo echad. Our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us. For Shiva, Nathan Levine, a very dear family friend of more than 50 years, who was laid to rest just this morning. We have no yard sites this week.
I have one.
Please.
My aunt Shirley Fiancio, who passed last Friday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. We remember 10 people who perished in the Holocaust. Dorche Salomons, Yetta Elikan, Hannah Alice Cohen, Jeanette Betsy Kosman, Rachel Kruneberg, Ella Edelstein, Clara Reinhaus, Judith Cohen, Susan Cosson, and Sophie Culp. Are there others who are being remembered for Kaddish tonight?
What about the people who perished in Colorado?
Thank you. Yes.
And those who perished in Atlanta. Andrea Lipsky, George Siegel, Jessica Walter, and Mike Bell.
Thank you.
And Gavino Franco.
For all those who've been named and those we name in our hearts, we continue with the Kaddish Tov, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam l'mei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the one who makes peace in the high places send peace here on earth as we say amen. In the spirit of Passover, this is called Unbreakable Soul by Sam Glazer. I'm just going to teach you the chorus because the rest of it is an echo. All right, it goes like this. You can never break an unbreakable soul. Try that much. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break an unbreakable soul. Okay, so the two lines. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break. Don't make that mistake. You can never break an unbreakable soul. That's all there is to it. The one more time from the chorus, and then we'll go to the verses. And it's just whatever I sing, you echo. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break. Don't make that mistake. You can never break an unbreakable soul. Work all day, dream all night, turn the darkness into light. At the end of our rope, keep the faith, don't lose hope. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break. Don't make that mistake. You can never break an unbreakable soul. Rose went out, saw our plight. When no one was looking, he picked a fight. He had a word with Pharaoh. Said, won't you let my people go? You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break. Don't let that mistake. You can never break an unbreakable soul. In sets of 3, the plagues began to fall. There was a sorry man. Pesach night, straight out and strong, we sacrificed and we sang this song. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break. Don't make that mistake. You can never break an unbreakable soul. You can never break. Don't make that mistake. You can never break an unbreakable soul. All right, do we have a volunteer for Kiddush? All right, Maury.
Hey. ooh,
What a
ooh, ooh.
surprise. What a surprise.
What a
All right.
volunteer. Woohoo.
Oh, a happy volunteer on a Friday with
Adam,
Ryan.
can we advance the screen one, please? Thank you.
Here we go. All right. Good practice for tomorrow night for Seder, everybody. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lemase bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, ki vanu vacharta viotanu kidashta mikol hamim. V'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
So when Pesach falls on a Saturday night, on Shabbat you're supposed to, for motzi, use egg matzah instead of challah, but I just can't. There's just no way. So I have a little challah roll. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam
hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.